This is a story about not giving up. It's hard to have faith when you're in a crossroads in your life, feeling discouraged and maybe a little bit hopeless. At various points in our lives, successful people on the other side of the work, the people standing where we want to be, have all had this one same piece of advice to say when you're feeling stuck. Your success is in sticking with it. This week, we were reminded of this lesson in various aspects of our lives. We're Chris and Jaime. This is our sweet pup, Bo. And this is Mia, our newest fur baby. We uprooted our lives 2 years ago and took a chance moving to the mountains to live out our dream. It hasn't been easy. We were tested to see how badly we really wanted it. Today, we're sharing what we believe are the 5 key steps to your success story. We figured we'd start with a quick and fun example before we get into the big stuff.
Hey everybody, just finished my Saturday morning workout and today is a really exciting day. So let me catch you up because about 2 days ago, Chris and I were sitting at the dinner table and I was watching Bo, kind of lazying around, it's the evening time, so she's already kind of settling in, already had dinner, all that stuff. And I looked at her and I was like, I think we need to get Bo a little sister. So kind of had that idea in my head. I'd mentioned it a couple times before over the past few months, but there was a bit more like seriousness when I said it the other night. And weirdly enough, the next day, which was yesterday, my dad sent me a text message and said that one of his employees has a dog. And unfortunately, her and her husband work full-time and they have a little townhouse, so they're realizing that it's really just unfair to the dog to kind of be, in a cage or just in a small townhouse throughout most of the day. And they're looking to find a new home. Sometimes the universe works that way. I talked to Chris about it, saw a picture of this adorable dog. And today, we're gonna meet these nice people and their dog here at our house in Bryson City. And Bo might have a little sister before the end of the day, so stay tuned. You don't even know what's gonna happen today. We're gonna get you a little sister. You're gonna meet your little sister today. Yeah. Oh, I gotta get that stretch in first though. That's a good stretch.
So it's day 2 with Mia and it's been really awesome, but we're running into some challenges. She's not very well potty trained, and that totally took us off guard because we've had a potty trained dog for so long. And we're starting to also figure out that life with 2 dogs might be a bit different. It certainly poses some logistical differences, like we had planned to go away this week and now realizing that Mia isn't potty trained and all that good stuff. It just doesn't seem as easy to get up and go and stay in another tiny house, which was our plan. Still worth it, but it's definitely proving to be a little bit harder than we thought. You little sneak.
You're kind of in a spot. Sit.
What do I gotta do?
Stay. Hey. Stay. Hey. Stay. Hey. Hey.
Stay.
Sit. High five. Sit. High five. Lay down. Now, Mia. Lay down. Good girl. Go. Beatrice. to get every treat. Not all for you, man. Good girl.
That's kind of how Bo was.
I know, right? Good girl. She's got such long paws.
You're doing what?
I'm slowly trying to remove myself from the process of going outside.
And walking Mia.
It was nice when it was just Bo and I just open the door and Bo goes out and call her, she comes back, it's great. Mia?
Bo walks herself.
Bo does walk herself. She's been, but you know, Mia's been here for 72 hours.
Hey, Mia.
This is 72 hours, it's not too bad.
You're doing great things.
Let's go, inside, come on. Inside, inside.
So it's been, how many days, Mia?
It's been, today's Thursday, so 5 days with Mia. She's roaming around, leash free.
Way to go, baby.
Seems to be coming to me when I call her. Seems to be coming to me when I call her, which is good news.
We weren't sure she knew her name, honestly. And Bo's loving her, mostly.
Mostly. Except she doesn't
Not in the
like,
mornings.
She doesn't like the mornings because she likes to just hang out and not rough play.
Snuggle.
Yeah, so, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Life is good. Life is good with two dogs.
It is good.
Mostly life has been really
Leave it.
calm
Leave it.
as we kind of keep chipping away at these projects. Obviously, you guys saw last week that we had a milestone finishing up our suites, and there's still some details here and there, but the point is that the meat of it's really done, and that was a big win for us. We're so dirty. Our dogs are getting so dirty right now. Oh my god. Yeah, Mia's been the highlight of this week. Right, babe?
Yes. Had some highs and lows recently.
Yeah.
Really more mental highs and lows. You know, sometimes I start to create these stories in my mind about how we're not meeting some sort of impossible standard that I also create in my mind. And I start to feel crappy about it. And it's hard work sometimes to get out of that, you know?
Yeah. I would say like an invisible standard and like a deadline for a lot of things for where we should be at in our life. And for me, multiple places in my life, but definitely with the house that feels.
We declare big, and when we declare big, we get tested because it's all about how bad we want it, right? And
Yeah.
so sometimes those tests can seem to be barriers and can seem to be discouraging. But I think overall it's really just if we declare big and we're committed to the vision, then these tests are going to be
Bigger and bigger.
bigger and bigger.
Bigger
and
disparities.
milestones to reach and obstacles to overcome. And that's what it's all about. It wouldn't be a beautiful story if it was just super easy, right?
Yeah, that's not how the hero's journey goes. I recall from one of our coaches, we took personal coaching during the pandemic, which was a really smart decision because that was really helpful during that time, especially just shifting the way that we looked at things and coming from a space of where these things are working for us and where ultimately all of life is really working for us. But obviously we don't have to go into how the pandemic was hard for everyone. But one of the things that our coach said was that when you declare really big, when you have these big dreams and these big goals, the bigger you declare, the more you're going to be cleaning it up. And what she means by that is exactly what you were just saying. I think that the bigger your dreams are, the bigger the stakes are, the bigger the tests are going to be, the bigger the mess ups and learning and cleaning it up ultimately. So some of these moments where I feel like I'm just getting tested and failing at a lot of them, I feel like I go back to her words and remember that the bigger and the more important, the more juicy the vision and the goal is, the more we're going to be cleaning up stuff along the way. And I take peace in that.
Yeah, a lot of times we create a safety net for ourselves, and we don't declare big, we don't set uncomfortable goals because it's scary. It's scary to think, well, I might fail, and that's okay. If that was part of the sentiment, and I still create safety nets for myself. There's safety nets even from like waking up in the morning being like, well, I don't want to set my alarm at 5 because I probably won't, so let me just set it at like 7. That's a bit more comfortable. And yet if I set it at 5, I might not get up. That's a mess up. I can clean that up, and yet the declaring I get up at 5 consistently will hopefully get me to succeed at that. And it's kind of one example.
Yeah. We also thought in this video it would be a fun example to use Mia, even though there's definitely, the struggle is real for sure, but it's definitely like way lower stakes than some of this other stuff that we've been. Thank you.
I'm gonna help.
We should mention. Hold on, I'm gonna intersplice it. That our stabilizer.
Oh yeah.
Broke last week, so holding the phone with my arm, with my little T-Rex arms, is really tiring, and it shattered in a million pieces as we were filming last week's video.
Yeah. I'm sad the camera wasn't on when it shattered, because it would have been a really cool
I know,
video.
at least we could have gotten the shot, right?
Yeah. Falling from the top porch down.
Vain.
Yeah. It's okay. Anyway, you were saying?
But yeah, like we thought it would be a fun way to illustrate what I think we've identified as like this pattern of things that happen whenever we have a really big goal or a dream or just something that we want to make happen. And we know that we always get to the test, right? Like the test, we don't get out of it. And even though I feel like we know these steps because it's essentially like the hero's journey, right? Over and over again. And that's what life is. It's just a series of journeys and meant for us to evolve our soul. Like that's what we're here to do. But it's so funny how every time I get to the test, even though I know that the test is like the hardest step, it's always second to last, it weeds out people who are not going to stick with it, I forget when I'm there. Like it actually feels in those moments where I'm not meeting the thing that I want or making the thing I want happen, that I just see like that there's no point. I get really hopeless, and it takes a while. So we were identifying like a couple areas in our life where this was happening, and one of them was kind of like, well, even the dog, we can't give up, right? Even the dog is really testing us. Like so many things worked out really beautifully, and then we got here and we were like, oh shit. Literally there's shit on the floor. Literally in our house, poop on the floor. And we're like, man, it's, the signs are everywhere to really stick with it. So yeah, we just wanted to get on here and talk about that this week, because it's not always about exploring and being in the idea phase and that like beginning part. Like it's hard sometimes when I'm not where I want to be in life, and I feel like I'm not meeting that stuff, it's really hard to remember that we get to stick with it.
Yeah, I think, and to put it simply, it's when we come across difficulties, if we see them as something that's not, like, it's not okay to run across difficulties, it's not okay for this not to be working out, then we tend to get discouraged, and we either let that discouragement, if that's a word, dictate our steps, or we remember our commitment and realize that this, difficulty is part of the process, and if we show that we really want it by sticking to our commitment and stick with it, we come out the other end, and we come out, successful. Also, I just saw that Mia is in the front yard. Let's see. This is going to be a good.
This is a good test. Speaking of tests.
Good girl, Mia. That's a good girl.
You passed with flying colors. Oh. Well, if that wasn't a sign, I don't know what is.
So proud of her.
So proud of her. I do want to say one more thought before we close out this vlog. I think a lot of the times what happens to me, and maybe a lot of us, like maybe you can relate, is when you're at one of these difficult test phases, it's all purposeful and it's all kind of part of it, and I always want to, like, I'm pretty type A in that I'm a problem solver. So if I don't feel good, I try to fix that and be the best version of myself. And sometimes that's a really great instinct, and other times it kind of reinforces this very unrealistic expectation that all of life is supposed to feel great all the time. And that's just not true, and there's nothing wrong if it doesn't feel good right now. Obviously it's not good to get stuck there, and that's not to take it as a free pass, but I do think that sometimes I resist that sometimes stuff just doesn't feel good. Sometimes it's just not like a great week, and that's okay. Like, as long as I keep going and have faith that it's going to get better and show up the best I possibly can, like, it'll get better. But that belief that life is supposed to always feel like the highlights, it's just not realistic. I'm sorry, I've been cutting off your head.
That's okay, it happens. I'm used to it.
And that's it. I wanted to say that. Anything else?
No, I agree with you. Those expectations that I set for myself, and it's like everything has to feel great all the time. It sets me up for failure when things are feeling bad, and then I'm stuck in this cycle of trying to eliminate feeling bad where it's not really possible. Mia!
Come here, Mia! She's doing so good. She's doing so good.
That's a good girl, Mia. That's a good girl. Stay here, okay? Stay here. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that other than you're doing great, and so are we.
In case you need to hear it, you're doing awesome. You're exactly where you should be.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Girls ready?
When we wake,
sit,
hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. We don't need no can weather any storm. Before I sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. is bright. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. You and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Good girl. Go pee pee. Inside. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, inside. Over here. Hey. Come here. Mia, come here. Sit. Okay.